What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Phil from Walmart, Right Lane Trucking, coming at you this evening. It is just before midnight, 17 minutes before, so 11:43. I am parked for the night. Yeah, didn't make it to where I was going, so I haven't looked at any additional comments if anybody else has commented, but somebody already guessed it. I'm going to go ahead and let it out of the bag. I am going to Hermiston, Oregon. Hermiston, Oregon is basically on the border between Washington and Oregon, and it's more towards the center of, or more east, the east side. So the very far northeast side, kind of not quite all the way across the whole state. So I used to live up in Portland, Oregon for a couple years. I worked at the airport there. I'm familiar with I-5 and coming up that way. This route I've taken, I believe I've taken before. It's been a while since I did it. I took the bike out for a ride, and with really no destination in mind. I just went for a ride, and it was like a Forrest Gump. I just kept on riding, and next thing I know, I was in Seattle. From Seattle, I rode over to Yakima, Washington, and then from Yakima, I came down the center of Washington, and then ended up in Oregon and went through Bend, and I just went through Bend. I'm in Redmond now, Redmond, Oregon. So Bend is about 20 miles south of where I'm at right now. So I'm 20 miles north of Bend, Oregon. For my day, it wasn't, I mean, it's a lot of miles, a lot of windshield time, but because there wasn't much activity, and this is my Monday, so I don't get the layover pay tonight. It actually goes on first thing tomorrow morning when I clock back in. It counts. So you get 4 nights of layover, and so that'd be my Tuesday, my Wednesday, my Thursday, and my Friday. Even though my Friday is my go home and I'm not actually sleeping in there, Friday morning is when I clocked in, and that's when the activity activates, is when you finish your activity. And so I started the activity tonight, my Monday, but I won't finish it till my Tuesday morning, so that's when it goes on to my pay. And so I did 582 miles, just shy of 600. Could I have gone 600? I was pushing it just to get here. When you're going through some of the towns in Bend and some of the other towns, the speed drops down to 35 for a little bit, so you have to go the speed limit. And hey, it's nighttime. On top of that, they're still having fires up here, up in Oregon as well. So the entire highway, well, not the entire, but a lot of Highway 97, which is what I'm on, is real smoky. So you put your brights on, it's like you're driving in the fog. So you don't want to have your brights on for very long, just enough to see the road, and then turn it off before the oncoming traffic comes. So yeah, I'm going up to Hermiston. Normally, we don't go to Hermiston. The only time we go to Hermiston is, I will say, it's normally volunteer status, right? They needed help. People volunteered to go, and they spent 2 weeks or more at a time up in Hermiston helping out. So they would get a hotel for their 34-hour reset, or they would stay in the truck. I don't know. You know, they were authorized to get a hotel for their 34-hour reset, and then they got food per diem payment. So yeah, why am I going to Hermiston? My load has to go to Hermiston, I guess. I'm guessing they had nobody else to get it out of Lathrop and take it all the way up to Hermiston, which is kind of odd. But, you know, normally what we would do is from Lathrop, take it up to Red Bluff, drop it off in Red Bluff. Somebody from Red Bluff would take it to Hermiston, or maybe a Hermiston driver would come down and pick it up. But I'm guessing it needed to be there tomorrow, because there was no way I was going to get it there today. There was just no way. I started in Sac, that's 69 miles just to get to Lathrop, and then it was another 712. So you're talking, you know, what is that, 781 miles in one day after going to the vendor, logging in your tractor, having to take half-an-hour meals. There's just no way it was going to make it. So I did the best I could. I got 582 miles in for today. I have that 781 or whatever it is. So I've got 201 miles left. 201 miles left on my calculations. It's saying 207, but we'll see what it comes out to. So that's another 3.5 to 4 hours of driving. It just depends on traffic tomorrow. It is Sunday. It is the holiday weekend. So hopefully everybody is where they need to be for tonight and this weekend. And so Sunday I could just breeze right up there and get there without a problem. But we'll see. Highway 97 is a 60 mile an hour speed limit for trucks, so that helps. And instead of a 65 on the major interstate I-5. Now, I thought about taking I-5 and then cutting across, but it adds like another hour, even with the higher speed that you can go. So that really wasn't an option for me to do. It is what it is. It's my first time taking a tractor trailer through the Oregon mountains, so it's not too bad. I wish I could have seen it during the daytime, even with the smoke. I wish I could have seen it during the daytime, because when I rode through on my bike, because I started so early in the morning in Lathrop and went all the way to Seattle, Yakima, by the time I came back through Oregon again, it was nighttime. And matter of fact, it was raining. And mind you, I did that in 36 hours. That loop that I just talked about, from Lathrop to Seattle, Yakima, back down to Lathrop through the central part of Oregon, I did in 36 hours. It was 1,800 miles, and I stopped for just a little bit on the side of the road and took a power nap until it started raining, and then I got back on the bike and took off. But it was pretty much nighttime when I was going through Central Oregon. Now, I've been to Bend before. I stayed at the Sun River Resort. It's a golf and resort there. When I lived in Portland, I went there for a weekend getaway and had a great time. Beautiful country. Now, the shame and the horrible part of this is, just like California, wildfires. And it's just devastating, you know, the scenery. It's devastating, the forest. Trees are just burnt to crisp or burnt down all the way. Some had to get chopped down by the firefighters. So it just takes a lot away from from the beauty of it, as well as the benefits of having all the trees. So, you know, hopefully they can get it under control up here as well. But it's still really smoky. So what is my thing today? I don't know if I've talked about this before. I might have. But traveling a back road, foresty, country road, if you want to look at it from that, through the mountains, a lot of trees. What do you think that there's a lot of, or can be potentially in front of you at a given moment? That's right, deer, or elk, or bears. Oh my. You got to be careful. I mean, it's tough when you're driving at night, and you know, luckily it wasn't dawn or dusk. That's when they're usually out the most. But they can be out in the middle of the night as well. And there was one I saw, unfortunately, on the side of the road. She or he was really good size, and he was taking a nap on the side of the road. Yeah, I'm hoping the people that that made contact with that one are okay, because that can do some damage. It can run right through the windshield, the grill. I mean, you don't even know. When I lived in New Hampshire, I was coming up our hill to our house, and we lived in central New Hampshire. Big old moose just sitting right there in the field. I'm hoping not to spook it, make my right turn, and just keep going towards the house. But you know, you spook a moose, they could charge, they can do a lot of things. So those things are huge. Yeah, we had all kinds of animals in New Hampshire at this house. So that was my safety thing for today, is be careful of wild animals, wildlife when you're in the back roads, especially at night. That's why I was trying to use my brights. You're supposed to use your brights. That way you can see them ahead of time. Sometimes it does deter them from coming out on the road. But with all the smoke, you really couldn't keep the brights on for very long. And there was traffic coming the opposite direction, oncoming traffic. So I will say this, for the most part, people up in Oregon know how to dim their brights when they're coming towards another vehicle, for the most part. I won't say 100%, but tons better than going over the Donner Pass. Man, the Donner Pass, nobody dims their brights. I don't know what's going on with them, but up here, way to go, guys. If I had my way and I could talk my wife into it, I'd move back to Oregon. Beautiful country, and it's a slower pace than California. You would think it wouldn't be, but it's a slower pace up in Oregon, and the people are great. I don't really care too much for Californians, but there's not too many places that like Californians anymore. So if I move, I'm from Wyoming. I'm not telling them where I'm from originally. No way. I'm not from California. Change those plates before I even, as soon as I get across the border, I'm going right to the DMV. Because I'm telling you, most states, the locals there don't care for Californians, and part of it's because they're driving up the cost of housing and prices and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get into the politics of California. Anyway, guys, thanks for playing along today. I will check back in with you tomorrow, let you know how and what they have me doing up here. I'm hoping they just don't send me straight back. But, you know, it does take some time to get back. So, if I went straight back, I might make it. No, I wouldn't. I don't know. That's a lot of miles to get back. So, we'll see. You know, but anyway, for Phil in Walmart, Right Lane Trucking, stay safe, guys.